Unfortunately, we've had some technical issues going live today. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope you guys will enjoy this episode. This is episode number 33. And if you guys remember from the last one, I was supposed to be in San Diego. We were going to do this face to face. Unfortunately, um, for reasons I won't get into too much, I will simply say I am sick. My fiance is sick, and it was not a good idea to travel all the way to San Diego. So,
One. I was supposed to be in San
hopefully,
Diego. We were
huh?
going to do this face to face.
Nothing, 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 nothing.
Oh, you're check. Okay. But yeah. So unfortunately, that's here we are. We're back. Um, but yeah, plans went awry, and I'm actually very sad about it. I was really looking forward to being in San Diego, but it's this was the better choice and probably the smarter one. So yeah. But in this week's episode, there are two major things that we're going to talk about. The creator of Dragon Ball Z's passing, and of course, Rooster Teeth's closure, which we will talk about in a bit. Um, I'll be brutally honest regarding the creator of Dragon Ball's passing. It sucks because this guy created something that is a worldwide phenomenon. It, it's one of the most recognizable things in the world. I, however, am not a huge Dragon Ball fan. I did enjoy the shows that I did watch. I watched all of um, I guess you could say the Cartoon Network versions of the show. I never saw the more like intense versions. So there's that. Um, but yeah, the fact that those things both happen like either the same day or the day, like a day apart from one another, yeah, it was a pretty big deal. So I don't really have much to say on it. I did want to mention it, and that's it. Like I got nothing more. I'm not gonna lie. Part of it is also the fact that my brain is very foggy right now because of how I feel. But yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. What do you got on this, dude? Like, how do you feel?
my thought behind it really is like you said, he's a very well known um, creator, and I watched a lot of it too when I was in my adult ages.
I don't
I
think
got
Dragon Ball
into
came out
it.
till like we were 16 or 17.
Yeah, like I got into it because of a friend, and it was the original little ball on the case with the stars and what season it was. And I mean, it was fun to watch. It was very entertaining. So to hear that a creator like that passed, it's kind of sad to hear. But I mean, it's also a part of life. So
It was really sudden from my understanding. Like he was 68 years old. Like it wasn't like he was really old. He just yeah. I mean I will admit I have not looked too much into this other than saw his passing, and I've seen the plethora of I guess you could say I wouldn't say homage, but like the the memes and the pictures and the other little nods to him, saying goodbye for what he created because he created an amazing story that still like stands up with some of the stuff that's out there, and it was an original work. Like it wasn't like he took some elements from other things, but ultimately the whole concept was original. And the fact that at that time, I mean, you got to remember this is like the late 90s, early 2000s when that came out. At least here in the States. In Japan, it'd been out for a couple years, I think. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry to interrupt you.
nah, you're good. Like I said, for me, it was just I like I said, I watched it, I enjoyed it. I never really got into it either.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, we just wanted to mention it for the most part because we're not like big Dragon Ball fans, but we did enjoy the show. We did enjoy what we saw. I did play the video games. I know that's not directly that, but I know that a lot of people are um there are people who are saddened by this, and should be. Like, I won't lie, if George Lucas passed away, I'd be very sad because his films were a big part of my childhood, and that would suck. But I don't know the man, so I
Right.
wouldn't be as hurt as his family and his close friends. Um, the same with this situation here. My condolences to his family and friends, though. It's never fun losing someone. It's never a good thing. It's never a good time. That pain doesn't exactly go away easily, if at all. So I fully get that there's a lot of people out there that are hurt by this, but I think the people hurting most are the people that were absolutely most closest to him. So yeah, but like I said, I just wanted to, make a mention of it to let you guys know that we were fans of the show. We were fans of um, the man's creation, but we weren't like diehards like some people. Like, holy shit, there are some people, man, they really get into it, like a little too much. Just saying.
Yeah, there's
So,
some very big diehard fans. We knew a couple.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Beeve was one of them.
Oh yeah, Beeve. I don't. Other than Beeve, I can't think of anyone else. The only other person maybe would have been Dave, but I don't think he was into Dragon Ball.
I think he was into it while Beeve was his roommate.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, do you have anything else before we get on the Rooster Teeth stuff?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, I guess before we get to the Rooster Teeth stuff, I'm getting married in 2 months. I still can't believe that it's one that it's actually happening. This is something I've wanted for myself for a long time. Is I wanted to find someone I could spend the rest of my life with, and I found that person, and I'm thrilled and excited, but also kind of like over yet. Um, it's a lot of stress, and to be fair, I'm not dealing with a lot of it. My fiance is, and I don't. I yeah. I my
And
role in
he
this.
froze.
Did I really freeze?
You did. You said,
Oh.
and then it froze.
Oh. Is it still frozen or am I still?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Man, I lost my total train of thought. Man, the technical glitches in this episode are going to be great. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for that day. We've got a bunch of really cool stuff planned. I hope everyone is
I know
too.
I'm excited. Like, we're coming out. We're going to visit, like, me,
I'm looking forward to that.
kids. Yeah.
See, this is the thing that
Jill's going to
sucks
be
about
there.
the thing that sucks about the trip to San Diego getting canned is that I was looking forward to seeing you and my brother and my nieces and nephew before the wedding. As of now, that's definitely not happening because the amount of time I took off, like, yeah, my work's not going to give me that much time again. And honestly, this close to the wedding, it was a gamble taking it off to begin with. The gamble
Mm-hmm.
didn't pay off as well as I wanted to, but it's ending up being for the best because it gives me time to handle some stuff around the house that needs to be handled and so on and so forth. But we'll see what happens. Um, Maybe, hopefully, sometime this summer when I've got some free cash, and because I've already got like the airfare is already paid for. I still have that. So yeah, who knows? Maybe I come out this summer. We can finally do an episode in San Diego. I'd love to do that. Hopefully, we can make it happen. We'll see what happens. But yeah, um, I guess we should just get to it then. And I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I'm so fucking out of it right now, partially because of how I'm feeling. So I am very, very foggy and just disconnected from reality. Um, so I apologize, but as I mentioned at the top of the show, Rooster Teeth, one of the forefathers for content creation and cinema based content, animation. on the internet is being shut down by Warner Brothers Digital. I think it's Warner Brothers Digital. And all of the assets, the key assets like Red versus Blue, Ruby, Genlock, are all being sold off. And this all happened last week. I think it was on Wednesday that this was leaked, because that's the thing. I don't know how much James has actually looked into this, but I do know that the decision was made on like Tuesday or Monday last week, and then the information leaked to Variety. Variety posted on Twitter and on their website that Rooster Teeth was shutting down after 20 some odd years of being in business.
21.
And yeah, 21 years in business. And that's how staff at the company found out. That's how all the employees found out, was through Twitter, was through the article being posted on Twitter that Rooster Teeth is shutting down. And they were like, wait, what? And there was a lot of chaos in the days that followed, as Warner had pretty much they'd made the decision. They'd already started the process on their end, but they hadn't let anyone at Rooster Teeth know that they were shutting it down. And so a lot of people, knowing that their jobs are basically done, like they don't have a job anymore, they just left. They grabbed their shit and they left. Yeah, that sucks. I have been a fan of Rooster Teeth's content as a whole. There's a couple things I'm like, no, I'm good. But as a whole, a lot of what they had was amazing. And the fact that it's now going to be gone forever, just that fucking sucks. It was actually you that turned me on to Red versus Blue. And I followed that series for a long fucking time. I was a paid member of their first program for a couple years. So yeah, I very much enjoyed their content. In fact, I've said it before on this podcast. The off-topic podcast that the Achievement Hunters did was in some ways the catalyst for this site, for what this show was going to be. Um, I don't think we still figured out what our fucking identity is for this show, but we still enjoy doing it every week when we do it.
I think our identity really is just two friends chilling out, talking about what's happening. You know, what's relevant, what's not.
I mean, that's basically what it's become. Like, we sit here and just ramble on incoherent. Well, I ramble on incoherently. But this is fun. I enjoy doing it, but the initial concept for me came from that. And I don't know, I'm more like upset about how Rooster Teeth is closing. The closure sucks. Like that sucks. I'm over that. But my heart breaks for how the employees found out, and how they were like kind of disregarded. Like, yeah, you don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And doing my minor research, I have to be honest, very minor research, and I don't even know how much of this information that I'm about to spew out is real, and accurate. But from my understanding, Rooster Teeth was one of the only divisions at Warner Brothers that was actually making money. So that really fucking sucks, that you're shutting down something that was making you money because it was making you money. That makes no sense. But apparently the main catalyst is they're just trying to, like, I guess they're trying to get a massive influx of cash, and Rooster Teeth is something that they really could care less about, because it wasn't initially created by Warner Brothers. It was bought by Warner Brothers.
Right.
So they don't have any ties to it.
The weird part too is, like, I knew Rooster Teeth as Red versus Blue. I knew they did other stuff, but I didn't know what. And I never really got into anything else other than Red versus Blue. And I watched a lot of Red versus Blue. I bought a lot of the gear. I bought a lot of the, different things that they had, toys, whatever, because it was fun and it made money, like you said. But I don't remember them doing anything over the past, 10 years. And then doing the research on this closing, I saw that on their 20th anniversary, they did something Lego related. And
Yeah.
even that, like, if I didn't hear about it, I didn't watch it. So, I mean, Warner Brothers had it, but
They
they,
also weren't promoting it.
yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
really do anything.
Sadly, for a lot of people that found Rooster Teeth, it was by going through YouTube, because during the full screen era, they started uploading things to YouTube, and YouTube wasn't making them any real money, but what it was doing was it was advertising their content. And so they continued to put content on YouTube. Well, YouTube's a free platform. So why would you go to Rooster Teeth and pay for the membership when you could watch it for free on YouTube with an ad blocker?
Right.
The answer is simple. Eventually, they started to change and filter out certain elements of the shows and the content. So if you wanted the full show, you had to go to Rooster Teeth. If you wanted the uncensored version, you had to go to Rooster Teeth. And that's why I joined, is like, I want to fucking see the real shit. I want to see what they actually said and what they actually did and all the stuff that was cut out for the YouTube version. Um, and the original uncut version was always better than the YouTube version for obvious reasons. But it
Yeah.
worked for a time. But when Warner bought them, that that mentality didn't change. Nothing changed because Warner didn't put a ad budget into them. Rooster Teeth was basically completely self-governed in how they promoted themselves, how they advertised, but they also were given limiters, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can only do this. And then of course in the last few years, this is something I know you don't know too much about. There was some controversies with some of their on-screen talent, which that didn't help things. There were some other issues that were coming out, um, and it doesn't look good for the company in that regard. But this was all stuff that was ordered. The downsizing of staff was ordered by Warner's. Um, the lack of, like, they at Rooster Teeth, owned by Warner Brothers, could not use any Warner Brothers media unless they paid for it. I'm like, wait, you're owned by Warner Brothers, but you still have to pay them to use. That doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, in a way, yes, it does make sense, but it really, really doesn't. And a good example of that is there was things they were going to do, content, and they had key music beats that they wanted to do these to, but Warner Brothers wouldn't give them the usage rights because they wanted money for it. I'm like, but you own the company. Why do you? They're trying to make you money off of assets you already own. Why are you making them come out of their own budget to pay for this? That that yeah. Um, so it was a massive clusterfuck. Warner Brothers really didn't know what they had, nor knew how to handle it. Um, and yeah, now legendary company in the world of online content creation is gone. I mean, it's done. And because of how the news broke and how most of the staff just said, "Fuck it." Well, I mean, you're firing me, and this is how I find out. Peace out. They don't have enough staff to even remotely continue to run most of their divisions. So basically, for the most part, the company shut down. Um, Apparently, though, there were some entities within the company that knew this was coming and started already kind of working on selling it off so that they could retain some kind of control over it and continue to do that content. But for the most part, like, a lot of things are left. Like, Death Battle. Have you ever seen those videos or heard of them?
No.
It's so they take characters from fiction, movies, whatever, like Master Chief versus Mario, and then they kind of judge who's more likely to win. And they put it all through some sort of like algorithm thing, and it decides, oh, this is who would have won. And then they create they do the whole show, kind of going over all the things that one character has, the other character has, or whatever, and then they have them fight. Usually, it's an animation or claymation or something like that, and then there's the winner, and they tell you why this person or this character was rendered the winner. Well, that group was never fully acquired by Rooster Teeth. They were kind of brought in as a partner and branded with Rooster Teeth, and they had the Rooster Teeth company behind them, um, promoting it, stuff like that. But they still retain the rights to the company, and so they get to walk away with all their stuff. Warner doesn't get to sell them off, and So yeah, that's one thing that some fans are happy about, and I saw that in some of the reporting I was looking at. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that's just gone now, and or is stopped production. And the other thing that came out literally like the same day that it was announced that Rooster Teeth was closing, like a few hours later, Warner was already moving to sell off the entire Red versus Blue library and the rights to Red versus Blue, so it can be, someone else can buy it and continue to create it. Um, Ruby, which was another big one that they owned, that's also being sold off. Like everything that made money that was worth something is being sold off as quickly as humanly possible, and that fucking
Wasn't
sucks.
wasn't Ruby a character in Red versus Blue? Like, wasn't that a
No,
name of a character?
no, not that I'm aware
Mm.
of. I did hear a rumor, or I read a story that some of the original forefathers, the original creators of Rooster Teeth, are attempting to band together to buy Rooster Teeth from Warner, take the whole thing. Um, I don't see that working out though. If that story is true, that'd be awesome for Rooster Teeth to regain its independence. But I don't see it happening at this point. Like
Right.
Warner is demanding like a pretty hefty price tag for all of the things that are worth money. And in order for Rooster Teeth to continue, they'd want to buy those things back. They'd want those entities back. And if you're not going to get them, then you're already losing a massive potential revenue stream. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's as of now, the company is shut
Hmm.
down. They're not operating right now. But all of the assets, the name, everything is still up for grabs essentially, because nothing, to my understanding, as of today, while we're doing this, has been officially sold off. But who knows when that could change, if it hasn't already changed and they just haven't made any public announcements about it. But yeah, I was really bummed to hear about this. I already said that, but I really was, because I always kind of wanted to work with that company. If I ever got to a point where I could, that was like my biggest goal for doing this, was to be able to one day say I worked with Rooster Teeth, um, and collaborated on something. I don't know what, but that was what I wanted. That was my end goal. Like that was my, if I can hit this, if I can make this happen, I'll know I've been successful. And now I'm like, well, gonna have to change that gauge. But that's just
I
a
get you.
selfish thought, you know. So, but yeah. Anything else you want to throw out there, or you read, or whatever?
No, I mean, again, like just like you're touching base on basically everything I've heard and seen as well. A little more so on um like the actual what's happening, but yeah,
I had
it's
a lot. I had a lot of downtime last week, man. So, um, yeah. So it sucks.
got my phone.
So I know, and normally I don't advertise this kind of stuff or even mention it, but I know there's a lot of, what would that? There's a lot of talented people that work at Rooster Teeth that are currently out of a job. Some of them do stream here on Twitch and other places. So if you have the means, I would, if you want to support them and help them get through this time while they find the next, step, you can always go and follow them and subscribe to their channels if they have that option. Um, I would highly encourage you to do that if you want to support these individuals, these either the content creators or the performers. Um, yeah, they I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it, and you'd be helping them out get through this. Again, this is not something I advertise, because I'm not one to say, "Hey, help this person who lost their job," because hey, I've been that guy that lost his job and there was no one helping me out. So,
Right.
yeah. But as I said, these are a lot of really talented people, and it's not just them. Like, there's a lot of people out there right now who just lost their jobs, either from Sony. I don't know if you heard about that. That's something we can touch on real quick. Did you hear about the massive layoffs at Sony and Microsoft in the last 2 weeks?
No.
Yeah. So both companies, the gaming side of things, Sony through across multiple different companies, shut down some projects and laid off a pretty sizable amount of their workforce at all these different studios. In total, I think the final number was like 1,200 people were let go, and about 6 projects were shut down. Microsoft had some layoffs as well. They had about like 600 people laid off in the gaming division. Um, and they had 2 projects shut down. And this is all to save money because during COVID, the gaming industry blew up, and it's like the .com industry. There's that big bubble where it blew up and then burst, and now that it's burst, all of these companies are like, yeah, yeah, we're not making the kind of money we thought we were going to be making, and yeah, we need to like pump the brakes quite a bit, and unfortunately, people have to lose their jobs over it. It sucks, but it is the way it is. Um, that's business. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. It's not great, but that's the downside of jumping in to something with both feet and not looking in the water. You know. So there you go.
Yeah.
Um, anything else you want to talk about, dude? Is that your horn going off?
That's my phone. My phone is blowing up. I've been getting so many texts and calls lately from this random junk, like, hey, do you want to sell your timeshare? All that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's fun to get those calls.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. Not even a little bit.
You know what? I did this one time because I was bored as fuck. I got one of those calls, and I answered it because I was just like, "What the fuck? Who's this? Hello?" And there's like a good 10-second pause, like because they're waiting for you to put your voicemail out, and then it starts talking. And so I listened to this whole spiel, and I'm like, "Huh? I wonder if it hangs up." It didn't hang up. Next thing I know, there's a person on the phone, and I'm like, "Hello?" And the person's like, "Hi, are you interested in doing this?" And I'm like, let me think about it. And I just hung up. Nothing fancy, nothing funny. But I
Did
remember
they
thinking
call
like,
you back?
no, they didn't call me back. I was kind of
Uh,
expecting them to. Like that would have made it better, but no, like they called, the voicemail went, the automated system went through. I stayed on the line because I was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. I'll hear the whole thing. I'll be nice. Plays through, good 5-10 seconds goes by, somewhere around there, and then all of a sudden there's a person, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's actually a person on the line now? What the hell just happened? But I don't get it. Like, yes, there are some people out there that are fucking gullible as shit and they don't know better, especially younger people that just don't know. I know because I was one of those idiots. When I was 18, my parents got a call from a company trying to change cell phone or change phone plans. And they called me. They wanted to speak to me because I was 18. And so I'm like, yeah, yeah, sure, why not? They sold me on free Blockbuster rentals. That's how they
nothing in
got me.
life is free, bro. Nothing in life is free.
I know. And it took my dad like 2 months to get the whole thing canceled and get our home phone provider back. So yeah, he was pretty pissed at me about it. But I remember her talking to my dad about that before he passed, and we were just sitting there chuckling about it. He goes, "Yeah, you know how much that shit cost me?" And I was like, "Nope, you never told me." He goes, $300. Now, mind you, this is in 2000 when $300 was the equivalent of like 600 or $700 now. And I kind of just looked at him like, "I'm sorry, Pop." And he goes, "You're lucky I love you." That was the end of it. So, yeah. Um, yeah, I can understand why these scammers work on people who just aren't aware of them, even though it's so prevalent. Like back then, those scams weren't as common. Like not everyone was doing them. Now, holy fuck. if someone's not running a scam, it's a shocker.
Right.
Like, it's so common for scams to be calling you, or fucking like, because my phone number is still in California, I get text all the time about California legislation. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't live there. Why are you texting me? And I know
Yeah.
it's because my number's
Thank
from
you.
there,
Yeah, thank you for the call, but I'll pass.
but the worst is when they say the whole, if you want to know more, hit yes. Like, text yes back. And I'm like, no. So you hit yes. Here's what we can offer. And I'm like, are you, wait, what? No.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think it's just funny as hell that it's so common now for scams to be a thing everywhere. There's scams for everything from fucking tires to fucking food, which is pretty fucking sad that these people are that desperate. Instead of just getting a fucking job, they would rather spend and burn a crap ton of money on all this shit that they have to do to scam you. They could just go get a job and make money. Like, yes, you're gonna scam people out of a shitload of money if you're smart enough, but it's like, how can you like live with yourself from ripping off, especially the scams that target the elderly or the disabled? Like, how can you live with yourself knowing you literally just ripped off and stole from somebody that lives and dies off of this money every single month? I don't know. Moving on. I got nothing. Not even gonna
Me
sugarcoat it.
neither.
I got nothing. You
Yeah.
too? You got nothing?
Me neither.
Well, guess that's the podcast, everybody.
Yeah,
I wish,
unfortunately, yeah.
unfortunately, you guys, like, yeah, again, we're
A
trying
big
to figure out what we're gonna
yeah.
do, but like, the trying to find topics, I mean, that
A
works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Like, today's a perfect example of that. We're done. We got nothing left.
a big part of it too comes just from what's happening out there, you know. There's just
Yeah,
so much on your mind with the wedding coming up, and there's a lot of stuff on my mind with my physical therapy and stuff.
yeah,
And,
and then
you know,
the things that are like newsworthy are all political, and I just don't want to talk about that shit anymore. Every time we bring it up, it we lose audience members because no one wants. While some people probably want to hear what we have to say about it, there's a lot more people who don't. Like, it's you get so bombarded with all the crap that it's just, you come here to be entertained and to escape all the bullshit. I want people to escape. I want them to have fun. I want them to sit back, relax, and enjoy as we act like fools and talk about shit we don't always know what we're talking about. Let's be honest. Sometimes we do, most of the time not. But like, I'd rather we focus on that than like all the other crap in the world, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So, but did you hear one last thing? Did you hear that they're doing another Ninja Turtles CGI movie?
No, I did not hear, but it makes perfect sense, to be honest.
Did you know that they're doing another live action Turtles
That I think I've heard more recent, but again, I I don't know what to expect really. I've actually made a picture that I'll share with you. My brother sent me a picture rather, and I altered it to make it more fun and entertaining. Here, hold on.
movie? Oh, good
We're
lord.
gonna go like this. How do I
So while
do
he's doing
this?
that, if you guys don't know, me and Jimmy G are both fans of the original Ninja Turtles. Have so a while back I mentioned it, I think, to you, the Last Ronin comic book. Have you ever read that or seen that?
No.
So I bought the Last Ronin book, and there was I don't know if it was a sequel or what, but there was another one that came out. My intention was to read them while I was in San Diego. Um, since that trip is not happening, I'm going to be reading them over the next few weeks. You can get them at Target. One of them is still available. The other one, you might be able to get it online, get it delivered, like shipped to you. But um, yeah, I read about how good it was and how it's a really good story, and I was like, you know what? I read the original comics because I have the original comics, or I had. I don't know if those got chucked, but
Okay,
I
I
was
sent it to you through Discord.
okay. I'm gonna take a look at it real quick. Hang on. So unfortunately, in order for me to go to Discord, it's gonna kind of kill your camera as I do this. Where did
It
you
killed
send it to?
yours
Like
when I did
direct
it.
message?
Yeah, direct message to you.
Don't see it. Yep, I don't have it.
Okay, my bad. I forgot to hit send. All right, you should
This
be getting it
guy.
now. You should be getting it now.
Yeah, I've seen this one. Middle-aged mutant ninja turtles.
Yeah, only you haven't seen this exact one because that's a photo that I took in New York and I put them there. That original photo of them was they were standing in front of a couple white picket fenced houses.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
I've seen
that's
that's the version
that.
I've seen.
Yeah, the white picket fence houses. I'm
Yeah,
like, that's not Ninja Turtles. This is Ninja Turtles.
yeah, yeah. That was good. That was good. You know, I saw that picture the other day. I was like, what the fuck? Um, I mean, they would be at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're middle-aged and we grew up on that. So
Right.
yeah. Um, but yeah, apparently they're doing a sequel to the CGI movie that just came out, and then the live action movie. I'm confused if it's like if it's live action CG, like the Michael Bay version was, or it's fully live action and there's someone in a costume. I don't know. I do know that the sequel is confirmed 100%. The live action one, I'm not. It's like it's a quote unquote rumor, but there's enough evidence or whatever to support that it is in fact a thing, and they just haven't made any kind of public announcement on it yet. But I guess we'll wait and see. I still haven't seen the movie, the last one that came out, um, so I should probably do that before I get excited about a sequel.
Probably.
But I heard good things about it, so we'll see. I'll take a look at it. I think it's on one of the streaming platforms, so I'll take a look at it and go from there. I guess probably on Paramount, knowing my dumb luck.
That's funny.
Oh, speaking of Paramount, did you hear that Peacock and Paramount might be merging their streaming platforms into one?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that was something that came out like a couple weeks ago. And honestly, for me, I'd be thrilled because Peacock works great here at my home, but Paramount fucking sucks. Like it's constantly glitching. It is so frustrating trying to watch anything on Paramount Plus. Um, but the other thing I wanted to mention, did you hear they are in pre-production on a third Top Gun?
No.
Yeah. Apparently Tom Cruise has signed on. They are doing it. They are working on a script. They are working on all of that. And if it does happen, it's going to happen in the next few years because Cruise is pretty much done. Like he's to the point where he's like, yeah, I got maybe one more big thing in me after Mission Impossible, and then that's pretty much it for him. I think he's going to call it a career.
And you know the funny thing about that statement is because you know they're going to make another 97 Mission Impossibles.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They just won't have him in him, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. But because I know originally the plan was for him to retire and Jeremy Renner was going to take over the series. At least that's what I had read. This was years ago, and then that didn't go through because he signed on to do Hawkeye for Marvel, and so he wasn't available. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the Mission Impossible. I actually don't remember the last one I watched. Like, there's been so fucking many of them. Jesus. Um, I know the newest one just came out, I think, or is coming out, and then this one's a two-parter or something. I've always kind of hated that about movies. The ones that they split it up into two different movies. You might as well just do a fucking TV show if you're going to do two movies. Like, that's just my opinion.
Some of them are
Oh,
better
and
off that way.
there's also another Harry Potter coming out.
That
Like an
one,
actual Harry Potter.
yeah, that one is supposed to be like a prequel, though.
From what I was reading, it includes like it's a Harry Potter film. Like it features Harry Potter. It features Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter. So I don't know. I know I'm excited for Deadpool versus Wolverine. That shit's gonna be funny as fuck. I'm really looking forward to that. And then Borderlands, the movie. Have you seen the trailer for that?
No.
You need to look at that trailer. I know you've never played the games, but dude, it's gonna be fucking funny. I've already told Kim, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go see this by myself. I don't because if she's not home by the time this thing comes out, I don't care. I'm going. I'm going the night it comes out. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna have a nice little time watching it and enjoying the fuck out of it. Like I've been waiting for this for a while, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, that was one thing we did originally want to do with this show is we wanted to talk about media and like movies and stuff, but because of how I watch like consume media like that, it's like, yeah, that doesn't really work all that well because we're never watching it at the same time. So you either watch it or I watch it, and then yeah, like, oh, have you seen any of the new Halo season 2 yet?
No. I couldn't even get to
Okay.
season 1, bro. Like I was
got through
trying
season
and
1.
trying and trying, and I'm just like,
Season 1, like, as a diehard Halo fan, because I did enjoy the series, the original series, and I enjoyed Reach and ODST, but that show took way too long to really get to the meat and potatoes of what Halo was. And so it was hard to watch sometimes, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I've heard the second season plays more to the games than the first season did. But I don't know. I've also heard like people kind of like, that's a stretch. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to see this anymore. But I'm waiting for the whole thing to come out. And then probably this summer when I've got the time and I've got nothing else going on, I'll sit down and binge watch the whole fucking thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember you saying that like when the first 2 episodes, you're like, yeah, this is good. It's actually pretty good. And then you never mentioned it again. I never asked, like, did you ever finish it?
No, I never
Okay.
finished it. I wanted to, like, I couldn't get in it. Like the first couple episodes were cool, like the graphics and everything looked pretty neat and everything, but I could never just dive in.
Where did
To
you?
be honest, for a while I forgot about it.
Where are you and Jill with the boys watching all the old Marvel movies? You guys catch up to things yet, or you guys still?
I think we've watched everything. We started to branch off into the shows, but I think I can't remember 100% where we last left off. Right now, though, we're watching the different Wolverine ones.
Which Wolverine one?
All of them. Like,
So you're
we watched
Origins.
we watched we watched Origins, we watched The Wolverine. I think the next one is Future Past, and then Logan.
Yeah, so I probably have to. I've actually never seen Logan. I'm probably gonna have to watch it before I go see Deadpool because I know there's gonna be references to it. But I am looking forward to that. I don't remember when Deadpool comes out. I actually have to look into that now. But I think that's gonna do it for us, man. I need to go take a nap because I'm starting to really feel it now, fortunately. But thank you guys for joining us.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you're sick.
Yeah. But thank you guys for joining us. I know this episode wasn't super long, but hopefully you guys did enjoy yourselves. We will hopefully be back next week. I just gotta be honest. Let's be honest. We never know when we're gonna do this anymore. But I think we're gonna have to do a different time slot because right now, as he mentioned earlier in the show, Jimmy G has been going to physical therapy, so I don't. He and I will have to figure that out. Because the last thing I want to do is have him like to come out here and try and rush and do a show for you guys, and then he rush off to go to his physical therapy. I'd rather, you know, be able to just relax and just sit here and chill, and hopefully, maybe next week I can get Vince Eric to come on and we can really have some fun.
That could be very entertaining.
That will be very entertaining. We might end up with a third co-host depending on how things go, but I've been trying, but we'll see. I mentioned it today and he was like, maybe, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so hopefully next week, it'll be me, Jimmy G, and my brother Eric on the podcast. But if not, hopefully next week, me and Jimmy G will be back with another one for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys next time. Until then, adios.
And special thanks as well to the 3 people who jumped in and checked out what Extreme and I do and gave us likes and follows on my Twitch. I do appreciate it. It did not go without being seen, so I want to throw it out there and say thank you guys.
Yeah. But that is going to do it for us. I am going to go take a nap because my old dumbass is fucking tired as hell. Normally we do like a little more of like a after show kind of thing, but I ain't got it.
No.
Plus she's starting to cough, so I got to go check on her. But thanks you guys for joining us this week. We'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Later.